Hello dear students. Till now in this chapter, organisms and populations, we have studied how the organisms deal with their abiotic factors. They cope up to live in a given geographical area with respect to the various abiotic factors. Today, we will begin with a new topic of the chapter, that is populations. Let's see, what are populations? So the definition of population is, a population is a group of individuals of the same species that lives in a given geographical area and share or compete for the similar resources and potentially reproduce. So this is the actual definition of the population. So there are different examples of populations. For example, different rats in an abundant dwelling is one example of population. Teakwood trees in a forest tract is another example of population. Even bacteria in a culture plate is another example of population. Likewise, lotus plants in a pond is another example of population. So, population ecology is a very important area of ecology that links ecology to population genetics and evolution. Now let's study the various aspects or attributes which are affecting the population. These attributes are, you can see, birth rates, death rates, population density, age pyramid and sex ratio. These are the attributes which are shown only by populations, not by any organism. We will study these attributes in more detail one by one. So let's begin with the first attribute, which is birth rate. So birth rate refers to per capita birth. We can study this with an example. For example, in a pond, there are 20 lotus plants, and in a given year, 8 new plants have increased. So what will be the birth rate? It will be 8 upon 20. That is 0.4 offsprings per lotus per year. This is the birth rate. Okay. Now, likewise, we can take few more examples of other attributes like death rate. It refers to per capita death. Similarly, let's see this with an example. 4 individuals in a laboratory population of 40 fruit flies died during a week. So what will be the death rate? It will be 4 upon 40. That is 0.1 individuals per fruit fly per week. This is the death rate. Now, same way, third attribute is sex ratio. So a population has a sex ratio. That is, for example, 60% of population is females and 40% males. Likewise, this ratio may change depending upon the organisms, whether the born organisms are male or female. Now next attribute, which is very important, is the age pyramid, the age structure. So it is the structure obtained when the age distribution, that is percentage individuals of a given age or age group, is plotted for the population. So for example, in human population, age pyramid generally shows age distribution of male and female in a combined diagram. This diagram is given in your book also. So you can see, with respect to the age pyramids, there can be 3 types of populations. It may be expanding population, stable population or declining population. What is the difference? Let's see. So if you see the growth status, it is maximum in pre-reproductive age group, then that population will in coming years will expand. So more organisms are there in pre-reproductive group as with respect to post-reproductive and reproductive. So this will be an expanding population. But if the individuals which are present in pre-reproductive and post-reproductive are almost same, then it will be a stable population. Whereas this is the most advisable. Whereas declining, when the pre-reproductive age group, the number are less as compared to the population of the pre-reproductive, post-reproductive, then it will be declining. Generally, the developing countries, they are showing expanding type of populations, whereas most well-developed countries, they are showing stable population. But there are certain countries, Scandinavian countries, where they show a declining population. So, with respect to the age pyramid, the population may be expanding, stable, or declining. Now, next attribute is population density. It is the number of individuals of a species per unit area or volume is called population density. For example, population density of Siberian crane at Bharatpur wetland in any year is less than 10. So it is millions of Chlamydomonas in pound. So population density may vary with respect to the organisms. Now, when you talk about population density, the same parameter cannot be used for all organisms. So as I told you, when you talk about the birds in a population, its population density measure is different as compared to Chlamydomonas. So there are differences. For example, it is the number of individuals of species per unit area or volume. For example, the population in case of Siberian crane. But there are organisms like banyan tree. If you talk about the banyan tree, the population size is also a measure. That is, percentage cover or biomass is also kind of a population density. So for example, in an area 200 Parthenium plant and a huge banyan tree are seen. In such cases, measuring percentage cover or biomass is meaningful to show the importance of banyan tree. Likewise, total number of difficult measures for a huge population. In such cases, for example, relative population density is used. So, the number of fish caught per trap indicates the total population density in the lake. So, in some cases, there may be indirect estimation of population sizes is performed. For example, in case of tiger census in national parks, the tiger reserves are based on the amount of pug marks seen or the fecal pellets of that particular animal. So, population density varies a lot with respect to the different types of population. Now we come to the next topic, that is population growth. The population size changes depending upon the factors like food availability, predation, pressure and weather. So changes in the population density give some idea about the population, whether it is flourishing or declining. So we will study about the different types of growth curves shown by the population. So when we study the population growth, 4 factors are very important. These 4 factors are natality, that is the birth rate. It is the number of births in a population in a given period. It is called birth rate or natality. Likewise, second factor is mortality. It is the number of deaths in a population during a given period. Third parameter is immigration. Immigration is the number of individuals of the same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during a given period. And fourth factor is emigration. Emigration is the number of individuals of the population who left the habitat and gone elsewhere during a given period. So let us see how these four factors, they influence the population growth. So natality and immigration increase the population density, whereas mortality and emigration decrease the population density. So, if n is the population density at a given time t, then the density at any given time, that is t plus 1, is, this is the formula. So, n t plus 1 is equal to nt, that is initial population density, plus there are two factors which are increasing, b plus I, birth rate and immigration, minus the combination of death rate and emigration. So you can see through this diagram, we can see that natality and immigration, these are the positive factors which will increase the population growth, whereas mortality and emigration, these are the factors which will reduce the population growth. Now we will study the growth models. There are basically two growth models. One is exponential population growth model. For example, in case of exponential growth model, resources, mainly the food and space, are essential for the survival, which are available in the population. As a result, the population growth increases. For example, if you see the paramecium here, initially it was only one, but when food and space was available, so this population increased indefinitely. So this is an example of exponential population. Let's see this with the help of a graph. So when you talk about exponential growth, this is the graph. If population size is n and birth rate is b and the death rate is d, then the increase or decrease in n with respect to the population density is dn by dt is equal to b minus d into n. So this becomes the formula for exponential growth rate. dn by dt, that is change in the population density per unit time, is equal to Rn, where R is the growth rate of the population. So this is the exponential curve, which means that a population will grow indefinitely with respect to the time when the food and space is available. So exponential growth rate shows a J-shaped growth curve, which is not very realistic. But when you talk about in a population which is there in the actually in the ecology, in the ecosystem, it is the logistic growth curve, which is sigmoid growth curve, where initially it grows and ultimately it becomes stable. Let's find out more details of this. For example, if R is the intrinsic growth rate of natural increase, it is very important parameter. You can see in case of Norway rat, the R value is around this, and that is 0.015, very slow. Whereas in case of floor beetle, it is 0.12. Whereas human population, it is 0.025, 205. So this is an example of exponential growth rate, which grows very fast, but it can crash. But whereas second one, B, shows the logistic growth curve, where dn by dt, that is change in the population density per unit time, is equal to Rn multiplied by k minus n by k. What is k here? K is the carrying capacity of the population. What is carrying capacity of the population? Let's find out. So, you can see here habitat has enough resources to support a maximum possible number, beyond which no further growth is possible. This is called as the carrying capacity of a particular population, which is denoted by K. So, when you talk about logistic growth curve, it is dn by dt is equal to Rn multiplied by K minus n by K. Whereas in case of exponential growth curve, it is simply dn by dt is equal to Rn. So this is the important factor. K, carrying capacity of any population, is a very important factor. So, a population with limited resources shows initially a lag phase, phase of acceleration and deceleration. And finally, it is the asymptote. This is very important. What is asymptote? Asymptote. This is a type of growth which is called Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth curve, where at particular point there will be no further increase in the population size. So this is very important. Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth curve is for this equation, that is dn by dt is equal to Rn multiplied by K minus n upon K. This is about the different types of populations. So these population growth models, Verhulst growth is described as I've already told you, this is very important, where n is the population density at any given time, R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase, whereas K is the carrying capacity. So for most animal population, resources for growth are limited. So logistic growth model is more realistic. Whereas in case of microorganisms, it is the exponential growth curve, because only in a particular period they have the favorable period for the food and the natural environment. Okay, so today we have studied about the population. I hope you have understood it well. Thank you.